The first thing I'll be doing is taking this flowery shirt and this very simple jacket and transforming them together by taking the sleeves off each one and putting them on either one. The starting point is simply just cutting the sleeves off, which I'll do now. All I want to simply do is cut along the seam line, so I'll just simply cut away. And again, I'll do the same on this one and cut along the seam line. Now, as you can see, the sleeve has totally gone. And the same on the other shirt. And I want to add this sleeve onto this jacket, which you simply need to put both of the correct edges together and then pin around the armhole. When doing so, it tends to be better when you turn the garment inside out and then simply feed the sleeve through the armhole, and then therefore I'm able to pin together like so, and then I'll carry on doing this around the whole of the armhole. Now you can see I've simply pinned the shirt in place, and therefore I'm now able to sew along the edge and therefore put it in place. Here I now have a finished sleeve. It's totally sewn together and a perfect neat edge. I now have a finished jacket. I'm now going to take the shirt that I took the sleeves off and I want to create a bag. Simply by doing this, from the armholes down, I'm simply going to cut off. So as you can see, I have one armhole here from the base of them. So simply cut along, and then that is the top half of your bag. As you can now see, I've got the corner of the armhole. I'm going to simply cut straight across. Make sure that you measure so you get a straight line. As you can now see, I've cut the base off. However, now I want to cut simply straight down so it gets rid of this loose bit at the side. I've now cut both the sides off, so I have straight edges either side. Now I have to consider the handle, so therefore I'm going to take the rest of the shirt and simply measure out 5 centimetres and cut strips all the way down, and I need 2 of them. I now have 2 double layered strips, which are now going to be my handles. To place the handles in place, I'm going to therefore have to open up the shoulder seam on the shirt. I'll simply do that by just slightly cutting a slight gap so then I can insert the. As you can see, I have now completely sewn the 2 pieces together, so now it is in one strip. Along with this, I have sewn the bottom and both the sides, so now it is a complete pouch. I still, however, have the inserts in the shoulders. Therefore, now I need to simply pin the straps onto the shoulder, and therefore I'll be able to sew. When I did the tubing of the handles, you make sure that you have both facing together and then sew down either side, and then you simply pull through like so all the way through, and then you eventually get a perfect seam. As you can see, I've simply just pinned one part of the handle to one side of the shoulder and the other handle to the other side. Make sure you place them facing the correct way. So as you can see, I've placed it on the outside. However, when you sew it, it'll be on the inside of the seam. I've now added my handles to the bag, as you can see. they just simply were sewn in facing the right way, and then I've gone from inside and sewn straight across. So now they are nicely secured to the top. As well, I decided, because of the buttons down the centre, the bag would have a gap, so I've simply just done a small sew line along here. However, it's still able to open, and there you have the shirt bag. Here I have some harem trousers. However, they're very basic and plain. I want to jazz them up a little bit. I'm firstly going to cut some length off the bottom, and then I want to take some of the shirt that we used for the bag and the jacket, and I want to add that at the bottom, and then add elastic so it clings to the bottom of the leg. I've put both the trouser legs together and pinned along the line so I know where I'm going to cut, and they're both exactly the same length, so simply just cut straight along where I've placed the pins. As you now see, two different parts. I'm now able to measure the fabric against the bottom so then I can attach it. As you can see, I've now placed the floral fabric to the bottom of the trousers. I now want to add elastic to the base so it will cling to the leg. I firstly measured my own leg where I want the elastic to go, so to there I'm now having to put that around the base of the trousers. What you want to do is simply pin the elastic on and then pull, so then it will eventually cling to the leg. Keep doing this around the whole of the base and then you're ready to sew. I've now completely added the elastic to the base of the trousers. As you can see, they're now elasticated and it's all like a ruffled effect either side. Now the trousers are completely finished with the jazzed up bases to them. I'm also going to be taking this play suit and simply making it into a bag. I'm going to cut at the waistline where it connects to the shorts and simply cut along and then turn in the edges at the top and simply add a fastening to make it a clutch bag. As you can see, here is the waistline. I'm going to simply just cut straight through. Obviously with some difficulty as it is denim. You may like to just use one layer of the denim first hand and just simply cut straight along the line. As you can see, I've now sewn the base of the bag. I now simply want to cut along the top so it's like this, so then I can insert a zip as a fastening. I've now simply cut off the top and I'll insert a zip at the top to look like a clutch bag. However, I want to insert a handle, therefore I'm going to insert a small slit in the side, and with the existing fabric from it, I've now made a small handle which I'll sew at the top here, and then this will be then eventually attached to the bag. I've now added the handle to the side of the bag. I'm just simply sewn it in so it can now be held like so. I now simply want to add a zip fastening so that you're able to open and close the bag. To add the zip, you simply want to take it, completely undo it, then face it the correct way against the correct side, like so. So now it looks back to front, and then just simply pin this along the whole of the side, and then again on the other side, and then you need to take a teeth sewing part so that the zip can be sewn and not be affected by the teeth on the zip. you simply sew a line, and then eventually you'll get a neat edge. I've now completely added the zip. I did, however, start with a black zip, but I felt it didn't go with the whole theme. Therefore, I've chosen a bright pink one. I simply, as you can see, sewn along here. Then you stay stitch it on the other side. I chose to get one that was 20 inches, so therefore I've simply sewn here and here so that it all goes together. And there you have your little miniature bag.